Uh, big news out of the Northern Trust last week. Paul, I am absolutely devastated that our former host, Teddy, isn't available to join us for this one. Tony Finau finally gets his second win of his career at the Northern Trust Open. How about that?
Yep. Who knew all he needed was a Monday finish?
Monday finish.
And there we go. He came sort of from the clouds in a certain sense. I mean, he would have been all over John Rahm in the final round when he teed off to put the foot down and do enough to win comfortably. But that didn't happen. And Tony just kept plugging away and knocking the putts in. Didn't make many mistakes, if any. And thoroughly deserved his win. And good on him. He seems like a really nice fella, and hopefully this will get that sort of monkey off the back, and he'll be able to go on and pick up multiple wins from here on.
I don't know about you, but I've got a big feeling that Tony's going to go on and capture a few wins very quickly from here. Like you say, I think the monkey's off his back. Tom, I don't know how closely you've followed Tony over the last wee while, but Paul and I have both continued to bet on him on this podcast, and we've been ridiculed for it.
Yeah, and instead you bet on go with the sore back last week, Colin Morikawa.
Well, it would have been nice if he told us that before the jump.
Yeah, I mean, you can understand it in like a NRL where you're trying to conceal a injury so you don't get targeted by a position. But with the rise of golf betting, maybe, any sort of cloud should really, like horse racing, should sort of be declared pre the start, shouldn't it? Give everyone sort of full clarity.
Yeah, this is a gentleman's game. Surely it comes out before and he says, I've got a bit of a crook back and the knee's not feeling too good. Or just give us a heads up, big guy.
Yeah, tough scenes here at the Tiley household. But I did back Tony in running in the final round. I missed.
Yeah, hold on. Let's just let punters know you back a whole lot of golfers in running.
No,
not every weekend, but you back a whole lot of golfers in running at certain points over the last few months.
Oh yes, yeah. I think there is the stat I read. I don't know if you guys follow Justin Ray on Twitter, but man, here's a hell of a follow. Comes up with some of the all-time stats. I think we mentioned it last week. It's been now 14 tournaments in a row where the winner has not been the 54-hole leader. The winners come from behind. Phil Mickelson was the last to do it at the PGA Championship, and I believe this is my train of thought anyway when backing and running. The night before the final round tees off, go have a look down the leaderboard, see who's in form, see who's played well and isn't favourite. Look for a little bit of value, and someone can come over the top, and you can get someone's at anywhere between 5s, 8s, 10s, 15s, and it's worked. This week wasn't quite as much for Tony. I think it was 5s, but hey, we got there.
Yeah, there's something to be said for that, isn't there, in terms of sort of, obviously we're going pre-tournament on this podcast, but if you can spot something after a couple of rounds or leading into the final round, you definitely got a little bit more information about the course and, who may be striking it but hasn't quite nailed the putts and that sort of thing. I think that stat over the last 15 tournaments probably helps that Louis is probably leading in about 8 of those, leading into the final round.
Yeah, you're probably not wrong there. Another playoff, Paul.
How good!
I don't know how many that is in a row. I've stopped counting, but
it wasn't really a playoff. It was one shot gone.
It was a playoff in theory.
Tony Beckers went whoa as soon as Smith had his tee shot on the first playoff hole.
Smith had hit his previous 6 fairways in a row, and then spooned that one out of bounds down the right, and then almost put his second out of bounds down the right again. And from there, it was Tony, he got to the green in 2 and
Had a 3-putt for a win.
had a 3, and he almost used all 3 of them too. But no, yeah, well done to Tony, and I guess hard luck, Cam Smith.
Yeah, really good for Tony. I'm happy for the man. So, as you say, hopefully he goes on and just creates a wee bit of momentum.
Yeah, I think he needs to do it on a Sunday before we can.
Here we go.
Monkey off his back. I'm not convinced. I mean, there was no, very little crowd there. Soft conditions on a Monday. The guys put it OB on the playoff hole. I mean, he did rein in sort of Rahm and Smith came with him, but TBC under the spotlight, I reckon.
Oh, Mr. Asterix. Wow.
Teddy 2.0 over here.
Yeah, exactly.
Jesus. Tough scenes. You mentioned Rahm. He had this tournament locked up for 68, 69 of the 72 holes, and then capitulated from the 15th home. I think he was 2 over. Missed on the 16th, which essentially makes him 3 over.
Yeah, what happened there?
He knifed it, didn't he? It's a good old,
it looked like me,
good old bone. Yeah.
Where was that? Was that on the 15th or the 16th?
16th, the short par 4.
Oh, the one where he had pretty much the same chip shot as Smith. It was in the same sort of area.
And Finau as well.
And they both put it like within 3 or 4 feet, didn't they?
Yep.
Yeah.
And he just, it was, and it's so hard. It's sort of hard to watch with someone like Rahm because he's so outwardly emotional. You certainly know how he's feeling when he's on the golf course. If he's happy, you can tell, and if he's not having a good day, it certainly shows. So, it was a wee bit of a hard watch, and it seemed to compound after that. The mistakes or the mishits just kept coming, and it just didn't look good for the big fella.
That was where the tournament swung, wasn't it? Like I think Finau birdied 15, birdied 16, whereas Rahm bogeyed 15, and then a par on 16 was as good as a bogey, and he was steaming, and then he came up on 17, missed his drive right, and they were talking about him. He got distracted or something sort of got in his eye line or in his ears when he was swinging on 17, and he was fuming one day. I thought he was going to snap a club or his caddy or something.
He's no DeChambeau. He wouldn't snap his caddy. Come on.
He's a big boy though. You could see him running. You could see him really hard running second 5 potentially.
His fatherhood's done him well. He looks like he's spent a lot of time in the cupboard. I know I did. When I had the firstborn. Another cool stat I found on Justin Ray's Twitter account. In Rahm's last 19 worldwide starts, he has made birdie or eagle on 29.9% of holes played. His scoring average is 67.3.
Wow.
That is insane. And I was having a look last night at his OWGR page, and it shows all of his all the events he's played and blah blah blah. And he there could be an argument, Paul, that he's turning into a top 10 Tony.
Who, Johnny Rahm?
Yeah, he's only won the US Open.
Oh yeah, exactly. He's only won the US Open. Say that again.
There's one win. Tony's got to win this year too.
He's only won the US Open.
Hey, Tony's got to win as well.
A major?
They're the same person right now. They've both got to win this year.
You are kidding me. Fair dinkum.
I'll tell you what, Tony got more FedEx Cup points for his win than Rahm did at the US Open.
Yeah, and this brings us back to the ludicrous state of golf when we've got FedEx Cup points. Ridiculous. Show me major wins.
I love it. Quick few facts I found out about Tony last night before we move on. 143 starts since his last win. Yesterday's win was his 40th top 10 since his last win. He has, we said that one, the 14 consecutive winners who trailed. 126 players have won at least one PGA Tour event between Finau victories. 126. And this one got me. Dustin Johnson and Justin Thomas combined have 28 wins in the 5 years between Tony's wins.
That's amazing.
That is unreal, isn't it?
Yeah. He's he's had to work for it, hasn't he?
He sure has.
He's definitely cemented his spot in the US Ryder Cup team now as well. I mean, I thought he was probably always going to make it anyway, but it's basically shut that door on that argument.
I would think so. And reports I've heard on other podcasts that he has been at Whistling Straits practicing in the last few weeks too. So I guess you take out of that what you want, but it sounds like
over that time. I mean, he's been getting grief from class golfers like us for months and years. He's still pocketed over $20 million worth prize money. So
he hasn't done too badly.
Yeah.
Brings us back to our a similar conversation we had the other week around majors versus 20 wins. Would you take 40 top 10s and no wins for 20 million, or one win and no top 10s?
If it's a major win, I'll take the major. If it's just a run-of-the-mill PGA tournament, I'd probably take the top 10s.
Thank you, Tom. Once again, there's another one. It's another one for major wins.
All right, let's move on.
Paul Major Mawate.
Yeah, that's what we call him.